Thank you for joining today's VCT Pacific Scrum. We are here with the Talon and FrosT. Let's begin by hearing from both on their thoughts of the game.
I think the game plan on the last two maps wasn't executed well enough, and we were giving up too much space, so they could capitalize off that. Made it much harder for us to play because their post plan is really good, and it's just tough.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I think Icebox probably was less about the game plan and more about, I think, mentality and adjustments, because I feel like all they really did was do nothing for the first interval, looked for something. I don't know whether it was Primi or finding out where the Sentinel, I don't actually know specifically what it was. I couldn't understand what the tell was. But then they just grouped and hit, and then they eventually added a 4-1 lurk, which is not anything that we can't handle. So I don't understand why. I think we played the way that we did, in particular on A site. So we're going to have to fix that in review. And I think we just lost too many rounds early, and then the game spiraled out of control from that. Pearl was, I am still trying to figure out what game plan that was. So I'm going to have to figure that one out, because that is pretty much not the one I installed. So I am eagerly waiting to get the review from Riot to figure out what the fuck happened. This is RQ all over again, so unlucky.
All right, we'll now open the floor for on-site live questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll bring you the microphone.
Hello, my name is Haru. Commiserations on the loss today. My first question is to Cruz. And first of all, congratulations on your 1000th kill today. And FrosT mentioned on the opening video that you do some work as a coach too in the team. I would like to know how that helps your understanding on the game and as an IGL too.
It's probably just because they don't understand FrosT, so that's why I'm just doing the job of translating. And I don't think there's like much to say. I'm just doing my job, just trying to help him send message to my teammates, because they're young, and then I just need to explain stuff in details because sometimes they don't understand. So I'm just like a messenger in a case, but I do a lot of like just for my own sake. I just do a lot of like reviews. I do a lot of like watching the opponent's VODs so that my calls are like on point. So that's just probably what it helps. Yeah.
Thank you. My second question is to FrosT. Harbor Viper comp was one of the meta comp until last champions, but it suddenly disappeared due to the much faster game pace. But after G2 used it in Americas again, and it is once again rising as a meta comp. Yeah, I would like to know your thoughts about using Harbor Viper comp in Icebox today. Thank you.
That comp is designed to stop slow teams, as you already mentioned. The meta's faster. The comp, Furia first used it versus Fnatic at lock-in, and that comp is just meant to stop fast teams. And the Icebox meta, or the idea of Harbor Viper, in kickoff was started there. It was on Haven, but it obviously matriculated to Icebox because back then you could just hit a site 12 times in a row. The best way to stop that is through the harbor slow. The wall, having a second wall on top of the Viper is good, which is why I think Sage fell out of the meta for so long until Gecko came back. I think the comp has its merit, especially if run correctly. I think we saw a lot of success from that in practice. I think, though, it could be a case of too much too fast for me because, as you saw, we play Pearl. We had a different comp on Icebox, but I think the comp is very good, and I expect it to be played a hell of a lot more in Toronto just because of how teams are playing and what they're doing.
Thank you very much. Good luck on your next game.
Okay.
Hello, guys. Commiserations on the loss. So Lara, my question would be to Frost about the preparation. I was just curious since like you're playing like you could have played like today and tomorrow. I was curious like how much of your preparation was like for today's opponent and if you like prepared for tomorrow's match as well. And like next week you're also playing against Nonshim. If you could share some thoughts about your next opponent. Thank you.
So I'm lucky that I have Jovi. We split duties. Boom was his responsibility, and I apologize that we didn't make it to Boom for his preparation. Yeah, he's basically a head coach. You know, I'm still surprised he was available and a free agent, and everybody thought that he wasn't good enough to coach a VCT team. So I was like, oh, hey, cool. Let me bring him over. And yeah, so there are going to be times where we just split duties. Obviously, Gen.G was my responsibility, and I failed at that. But for Boom, we were already, I mean, he already had his game plan. He already knew what he wanted to do. It was going to be his comps, his draft. I was basically just going to be an observer because the only thing I really did was I saw what his game plan, like what his ideas were, and just talked to him about it, asked questions, and provided my own feedback. But ultimately, it was going to be his responsibility. And, you know, I trusted him to be able to execute and win, and I just didn't do my job. As for Nongshim, we've played them many times. They're a good team. I think they are going to be motivated highly to beat us. So if we are not better than we were today, they could be a problem.
Thank you for sharing. And my last question would be to Cruz. Last time I was interviewing Frost, he said that like Munchkin kind of has like Talon's number in like because he's like good AJL and hard matchup. So you personally showed like really great reads on Haven today, and like we hear that the coaching staff like praises you a lot. Your IGLing going against Munchkin. How do you feel like, and what do you think was like the thing that like the team lacked today, like overall?
I think when he kind of like figure out how we're gonna play, it's just harder for me to control like my teammates because they're doing a lot of stuff at the same time. And when he finds like the gap of what we're doing and he understands that, it's hard for me to help everyone understand what I'm seeing. So it's kind of like just trying to give information towards everybody, which makes it harder because in game, minute and a half trying to figure out what's happening. So it's like I think he had a really good read on us on the last two maps. And yeah, it's just hard.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Today's Heaven gave a lot of hope though, so good luck in the next match, guys.
Okay, moving on to pre-submitted question. This one is for Frost. The team's results have alternated between wins and losses in recent matches. How are you working to build consistency and momentum heading into the playoff?
Man, I don't know whether to be an ass or just be like as soft or, you know, use soft skills or just be honest because I am not changing. Every week is the same. I have not changed. I believe Cruz can defend me on this, even if he may be mad at me at the moment. I think I have been very consistent with game plans, drafts, vetoes, installs. The inconsistency, I don't believe, is me. I'm trying to figure out whether it's, like I said earlier, you know, am I doing too much too fast? Did I gain too much confidence, right? We switched comps today. If we used our old Icebox comp and just adjusted what we were doing, was that good enough? Could we have saved it for Boom? I have to think about things like that. But like the win-loss thing, I have no idea. Because I have tried literally everything, and I can't seem to to break this spell. And I also don't think I did anything to warrant the first map breakdown that we broke 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah. Or last week. Last week, right? I didn't do anything different. So I am just trying to figure out how to draw consistency. And I was actually glad today that Gen.G played well, because I was telling everybody here, I need to know whether or not we can reach our peak often, or whether it's just going to be a miracle every 6 months. So I think Gen.G played very well today, even on Haven. I don't think people realize that they actually played well. I think on Icebox, even though the score didn't look good, we had way more chances. I think Pearl was a complete wash. So I think overall, I think pleasantly surprised by the young guys and their overall skill level, but I am obviously disappointed that I can't seem to get them to follow a game plan without, I think, many weeks of preparation. So I'm back to, okay, maybe we just need to fix our mistakes instead of trying to be ahead of everybody. So we'll see what happens against Nongshim.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next time.